Cindy B. Rosado, folks, joining us from RE/MAX First. She's also the chairperson for the Realtors Charitable Foundation. And we have Ryan Tucholsky, CEO, baby, of the GRAR, and Pat Coyne, goofball extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire. I'm psychic. I knew you were going to say that.
Okay, let's get a little bit back into, we wanted to talk about the golf tournament. Ryan, you want to take how that, I know it's a charitable thing, but it wraps in with the GRAR as well, which is a local establishment, if you will, servicing both the consumer and the realtor.
Yeah.
And we talked about that during break, actually, how lucky we are in the Rochester area to have these types of associations. Very unique because they're not everywhere, right?
No, I mean, you get into some communities and there are maybe one or two. You know, I worked for multiple associations before I came here to Rochester. I was in Florida for a while, and you won't find consumer groups down there that are as strong as they are up here. They're just not as union friendly or those kinds of things. So we really are lucky that there are so many consumer protections in place. It makes for a stronger business transaction and makes for happier people in the transaction.
Is that a good point to come in with my question about what is the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent?
It really is. I mean, you know, there are hundreds of things that are different between a realtor and a real estate agent. But the number one thing is that a realtor is somebody who's a member of the National Association of Realtors.
So it's an ethics thing, sort of?
Absolutely. And the pledge of the National Association of Realtors is that when you're a member, you have to pledge to the code of ethics. And there's a code of ethics that goes above and beyond the license law that says that I will protect the consumers. I will not put my own interests first. Those kinds of things. I will, you know,
I won't sell this person the house that's not right for them at the wrong price.
Well, you know, it's basically saying I'm looking for your best interest.
Like Pat used to do.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, how much is it going to cost me to join? I don't give a crap about the rules.
Oh, stop.
What do I got to pay? Everything's a pay. Everybody's got their hands in my pocket. I don't care about the rules.
But you have to have.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You have to have money involved because it adds value and worth to what's going on, and also affords a CEO like Ryan.
Right, exactly. That's right. We won't go there, will we?
You know, it's a pretty large organization. I mean, we have one of the largest in New York.
Okay.
And we, you know,
So each region doesn't have.
Well, like Buffalo has their association, Syracuse. There's some downstate as well. Obviously, Long Island. The only one that doesn't really have one is Manhattan. There's no organized real estate in Manhattan. But,
oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there is. I should rephrase that. There is organized real estate. There are brokerages, but they've really struggled with the concept of an association. They didn't start an association until the late 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and nobody has joined it. So really,
that's interesting.
I mean, you figure there's thousands and thousands of agents just in the island of Manhattan.
Yeah,
and their association has about 250 members. So it's been difficult, but it's a very different marketplace.
And when you have an association, you have somebody to answer to, which I think is the biggest thing. I mean, you've got to kind of fly by the rules, or there'll be penalties to pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the cool things about the whole real estate agent thing is that the local association, Greater Rochester, you know, the board that Cindy and I are with, we're basically charged with enforcing the word realtor. It's a registered trademark.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of like the word Kleenex and facial tissue. Same thing. You know, it's the same thing. You know, we all love to say Kleenex, but you know, if it's not made by the brand that makes Kleenex, it's really not that. So, it's the same thing. So, you know, we see a lot of abuse of that word, and it's our job to protect it because
I see.
We own
get it.
So, yeah.
So, for example, I could have a real estate license, but I'm not realtor
Yes.
if I'm not.
If you don't belong to
hanging
a local,
with you.
The National Association of Realtors, you can't use that word. And if you do,
So I can't say, "Oh yeah, hi, I'm Brenna Hartman, I'm a realtor."
No.
Nope.
Not unless you're paying his salary, paying those dues, baby.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy.
No, wait a minute.
Organized
Calm
crime.
down. No, because it's not about the money. It's about the ethics. It's about the standard and what kind of practice that I'm going to do that you didn't do, which is why you're no longer a realtor.
That's why I was tossed
Or a real
out.
estate agent.
Right. Or
Let
a
me
realtor.
rephrase.
Or realtor.
Okay. All right. What is homesteadnet.com?
Homesteadnet.com is a website. It's a public-facing website where people can go to search for homes, or like what we talked about earlier, they can go and find a realtor, somebody who's a member of the organization. They can see the picture, and if they speak multiple languages or what their specialties are, it's a space for our members to put their listings out, as well as advertise themselves that they're a member of this organization and that this is their site. So it was created like mid-90s.
Yep.
GRAR actually received a grant from the National Association of Realtors back when we were not sure what was happening with the web and internet and real estate.
It was scary those days.
And, you know, a lot of trailblazing people here in Rochester took a big leap with homesteadnet.com, and we were one of the first in the country that had a public-facing website of associations. And it's been...
Boy, we are just straight up leaders over here in
We've got it going
Rochester.
on. So, no, HomesteadNet is one of the greatest assets that we have, other than the Realtor trademark. Our members see a lot of value in it. We just recently did a huge renovation to it. We get a lot of feedback from the public. It gets about 10,000 hits a day.
Oh,
You
wow.
know,
So-
I'm on the site right now, and it's great. I think the only thing missing is a picture of Pat.
Yeah.
But it's great because you have homes for sale, find an agent, can also find out about a career in real estate, and also a tab for buying and selling. You have find homes, show a property. I mean, what a great resource.
Yeah, we wanted to make
I'm
sure that
loving
it was good for the consumers. You know, we don't want to compete with our members who are brokers, but we created a neutral site where people can go and look at homes and find a realtor and then begin their home search.
Okay.
You know, because we're not brokers. The association isn't a broker. I don't have a real estate license. You know, I'm the neutral guy. So we want to make sure that we can capture those buyers or sellers and make sure that they use our members who are realtors and not someone who's just a licensed agent in New York State.
And which I'd like to point out too that that's a good thing. I think that you're the neutral, you know, and you're the head of this organization, so you don't really have a side to be on or a, you know, right?
Yeah.
So that's important.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of things to help our members internally as well. I mean, you know, if you were with your competition disputing and going to the courts, you would spend thousands and thousands of dollars. It'd be really expensive. We make our members do that internally. You know, that we have some mediation processes and things like that. So if there's ever disputes over commissions and whatnot, you know, we keep them out of the courts, which is good.
That's helpful.
Wow, that's a huge service.
And it saves,
See, it's worth it to pay your dues.
Yeah.
See, it salvages relationships between brokers, because even if you have one dispute, you're probably going to do hundreds of more transactions in your lifetime or your career.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to do, is sort of create that brotherhood of real estate brokers that we're all in the same sandbox and getting the job done. So
Okay.
Which I'm sure, Pat, you remember in our day, way back when.
Yes.
It wasn't like that. Realtors weren't friends with each other.
Not really.
And now they are a lot more so. I mean, we lost two icons in the last 2 weeks. Earl Krakauer and Tony Nicolucci
Oh, really?
passed away this week.
Oh, no.
And, you know,
our
there wasn't a bad
condolences.
thing that anybody could ever say about Earl Krakauer, which
No.
was one of the things, you know, when I heard the news, it was like, wow, I mean, this was somebody that you wanted to do a deal with as another agent.
Yeah.
Not only just as a consumer, but just an amazing man. And that's kind of what it's come down to for realtors. That's why we do the Realtor Connection
That's good.
events, because we can meet each other. We know who we are, you know, how to do a transaction across the table. Makes it easier for the consumers.
And, you know,
Yeah.
since we've been hosting Property Source Radio here on ESPN 950, I've met a lot of realtors. And again, you know, my background is more in the home improvement side of the industry. Pat obviously has real estate, rental, and all kinds of experience.
Of things we don't have to mention.
But what I'm finding is that realtors or real estate agents, if you will, some have their own niche. So they have like more background or more expertise, say, in foreclosures or rental properties or whatever.
townhouses and condos.
So
or,
it's kind of
Yep.
nice because they don't claim to be, you know, the general attorney, let's say. Like an attorney specializes in buying and selling a home or criminal, right?
Yeah.
Am I
Correct.
making sense?
yes, I think another part
Ramble
of that.
on.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense, and especially for the Realtors Charitable Foundation. One of the reasons we started it was also to give back to the community for people who were lower income, because realtors get to a point. You know, people used to say to me, "Well, you've been in the business for 20 years now. You probably don't work with somebody who has bad credit." Well, of course I do. I work with all kinds of buyers.
Yeah.
But that is kind of the mindset out there. So now Realtors Charitable Foundation was set up to kind of have an organization where people could grant money. We can use our monies, our funds that we raise, to help grant monies to help these people, to get them through a program where they are helping them, teach them how to own a house, teach them how to save and make sure their credit's okay. NeighborWorks does it all the time. They have an 8-month program. People come out of it. They know how to maintain a house, take care of a house. They know how to maintain their credit, which, I mean, if you're not taught
Right.
You don't know how.